we're trying to teach, the cues and triggers. And then we go into holistic. I think this is self-explanatory when I say holistic, or this is more all around that comes about in regards to the well-being of the players, their social skills, and it attaches more into the 5 characteristics that we were talking about. Pop quiz, what are the 5 characteristics?
Cognitive, physical, emotional,
Language.
and
What was the last one?
Cognitive.
Oh, we said that
We
one.
said that
What's it
one.
called? Oh, you say physical?
yeah.
Physical.
Um,
Emotional, social.
Language.
Social, emotional, language, cognitive.
Yeah,
physical.
language.
Language, there you go.
Language.
All right, so that's that, and then we have experiential. So this is the player's experience, right? Utilizing and organizing mutual reflections. So this goes back to your process of training method. How do you create your training sessions? How do you give the feedback? And this connects back to your how and when. And we'll learn more about that in regards to the how and when, because this is where it comes about. The when of when are you doing certain things and how are you doing them. And then the autonomy support. This is more of you being you. You know, providing that ability to support that player in certain things that comes about when they want to do a certain thing. As you, all of you must have a talented player in the team. Who here has a talented player in the team that he's great, but he hardly listens when you actually want him to listen? Yes.
That's true.
That's what this means in regards to autonomy support. How are you supporting that player, even though you know that that player is talented, but you do know that he still needs to develop other areas in order to achieve a different level? So how can you support not only his talent, but at the same time change his behavior so he can continue to perform? This is what it means. Because in America, there is that, I wouldn't say every coach does it, which not every coach does it, but a lot of coaches, they try to joystick. They see a talented player, if it's not working for them, what they do is they say, don't do that, do this. But the funny part is that in the future, they want that talented player to actually do this, what they were doing before.
Yeah. Be
In
creative.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
bingo. They want that talented player, hey, you gotta take more people on. Player goes, coach, last year you told me you don't want me to do that. So I changed everything. I lost my confidence in that, and now I like to pass more.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me you want me to beat every player down the line like I used to do. Why didn't you just tell me that before and help me develop the other side? That would have been much easier. You get what I'm saying? So those are the little things that, as a coach, you gotta understand. I always say it's, if you're building something now, you gotta make sure that what are you gonna get later?
Mm-hmm.
The
If
little
you're gonna
detail.
take away something now, you gotta make sure that you're not gonna need it later. Because it's a habit, right? You teach something and then it's gonna create a different habit, then you're gonna have to re-break that habit to create a new habit. So you always gotta think ahead, and this is what the autonomy support comes in, is that you gotta make sure that you're supporting a player, or you're not creating more headaches for yourself in the future. And of course, this is what we were talking about, the 5 characteristics. Almost staying in, what are we, learning objectives, learning environment? Any questions about this? This is more just a recap in regards to what we talked about on the Zoom. Any questions that you might have here that I can answer?
No.
No? So Oscar, if I say, what does emotional mean to you for U7 and U8?
Emotional. The players that I'm dealing with, they're a little bit too young, 5 to 7.
Okay?
And emotional, it's like the thing is they're all emotional.
They're all emotional.
They're all emotional.
Okay?
And second, like they're all energetic as well. But there's this one kid that let's just say he's not like big or fat, but I was like, oh my, he told me, coach, I'm slow, man, I'm slow. I cannot get the ball. And I thought, how can I make this kid run? And then it's like, okay, just pretend you already have a PS5, but I already have a PS5.
So maybe the example we use wasn't the best one for the PS5, so it comes to this. So here's a question that I asked in some of your assignments is, these are the things that you want to focus with the players, but how do your values influence these? As a coach, the values. So all of you share great values, responsibility, respect, discipline, and creativity. How do those values that you have affect these for the players? Where do your values inject in this when it comes to the learning environment and the coaching?
All of them, right?
You tell me, coach.
Yeah, your values, support all of them, but individually, you have to look at every player and understand what they need. But for emotional, you may go for that age group, they're super enthusiastic or they're super shy, and you have to focus on each player individually to get the best out of them for that use case. Language-wise, you may know that they don't understand big words; they're smaller, so you have to then look at your values of I love the support system or create a safe environment. So I have to reflect that in when I talk to them about the language, that they feel like they're heard, they're safe, and it's easy for them to learn.
Okay. But what about if my learning environment is more military?
You gotta soften up.
Yeah, self-reflect.
Try telling that to a
Yeah,
general
that's
that
true.
came from the army and so forth.
No.
His regiment and very disciplined. How do you come about? And I'm sharing this because whether they were in the army or not, it's an example that I use because sometimes we tend to use that as a way to kind of understand structure is good. But the question is all structure good?
No.
Are you telling me or?
No, not 100% of the time.
Well,
Go ahead,
structure is
educate
good in terms of it's a building, right?
The type
It's
of
like,
what you use, I guess. Structure is good in general, but
Yeah.
I guess what do you use to correct? That's what should be the difference for age group.
You said a keyword, purpose, right?
Yeah.
If your structure, US has the structure in regards to the methodology, right? But there is a purpose to it of why we do it this way, because we're guiding before US soccer, it had more of purpose, it was a pass or fail type of class, right? And it became stressful because then you focus more on, am I failing or passing instead of learning? Right? It became more of like a job that you were here instead of, I'm here because I want to learn. Now US Soccer has designed the courses where, yes, you do fail and pass, but at the same time, it's more about the learning aspect, the development. So the purpose is after the learning. So that's where I say, if you're doing the military, because before you guys have military, you either fail or pass. You either know it or you don't. But the reality is like, you're here to learn, not to fail or pass, right? The idea is that you learn so you can pass. But before, the courses were more very rigid. So that's why in our coaching, when we do our coaching, are we the same way? Are we very rigid, or are we understanding that the players are also learning? And how are they learning? With what type of structure? Yes, Kat?
Just one observation is that the idea is every player in my team, it's how do I make them after the reflection game feel that they learned something from the game. That's the goal. Changing.
Goes back to purpose, right?
Yeah, the purpose.
We all have different purpose of why we're here. Some of you are looking because you want your kiddos to develop. Some of you are here because you want to build your trades. You want to build your foundations, your clubs, and you want to be elite. Some of them are there because mom and dad said, I gotta be here.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? So it's, you gotta understand your purpose, how your values connect to all these parts. Because your values might understand the social, the cognitive, but you still got 3 more to go. So that's just a quick recap on that. And then we go into the coaching process. Now, this is a coaching process. Now we're getting more into, back again, of developing the training activities that we're talking about. As I said before, when you're creating your training, what are things that we look at? We first look at assessing the player needs, right? We gotta understand who's in front of us so we can understand what we need to develop. Then we go into the defining objectives and goals. Now, when you're defining this, what are things that you need to, now that you understand a little bit more about the training process, what are things that I need to know when I'm defining my goals and objectives? If I'm designing my training activity, what are things that I need to know?
Objective.
Well, you already know what you're gonna work on, right? You got an idea of the objectives that you're trying to develop
Yeah.
your players. But what are things that I need to know in order to accomplish this goal and objective?
Well, one thing I've learned is when players show up.
Numbers,
Yes. And it's not just that.
What's front of you?
huh?
Oh, I think he already said it. What's front of you
Number,
first?
age group, all.
Numbers, age groups, equipment, if it comes about, what's the other part? Yes, level that you're working with, that'll determine in regards to whether if you can run an advanced developing
Right.
out of the back, or do I need to start with a one-on-one? Make sense? So that was the last part.
Field space?
Bingo. Field space.
Is there one that we could add for the future? It's, I've come to understand that there's two types, I mean, the type of gear you're gonna get is either they're physically there, but not mentally there.
Well, then we go back to the 5 characteristics, remember I told you the values and so forth? That's a value that you wanna teach, right? When I was just, I'm about to do the meeting with Chaminade, the voice program.
Oh, nice.
And one of the things that I do in the first meeting is providing that meeting with what I expect from players. And meaning when they go to training, I don't need them just physically, I need them mentally there. If they're not gonna be mentally there, then I'd rather not have you at all.
Right.
Cause then I know you're not gonna disrupt the training. Cause if they're not mentally there, that means they're a distraction, cause they're not paying attention to me. That means they're distracting other kids that are actually paying attention to me. Or can feed off of that energy that it doesn't help me. Does that make sense? So it goes back to the 5 characteristics, which is the cognitive, right? Cognitively, they're not there. So how are you gonna solve it? So those are things that you gotta literally present it.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, if you're gonna be here, you gotta be here. Otherwise, mom and dad can sit with you. Now, is that a tough way to say it? Yeah, but it's an expectation, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you're depriving 17 other kiddos from actually listening. So those are the things that we need. Now, when we're planning the training session, what's something, can someone, let me see. No way I can get you guys. All right, so if we're planning a training session, what are of these things do I need to understand before I start building my training session?
I don't understand the question. Like, what are the things where we're gonna work on? What are the things we want to accomplish?
Yes, so we just created
Yeah.
our objective, right? So
Yeah.
you just filled out these right here. Session objective, principal, sub-principal, player actions. You just created that, right? So now we get into the activity. Notice that the activity has an objective too. So how are we gonna go in there and start that activity? Should I elaborate more?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start here. Let's say, I'm gonna give you an example. Somebody give me an objective,
Possession,
session objective.
possession,
Well, session is a tactical topic.
Building on the back.
Building out of the back, okay? Okay? Give me a main principle. Based off of this objective. It is a question. I'm gonna challenge you guys. Where are you trying to get out of the back?
Yeah.
Build outline.
How does the play start?
Huh?
How does the play start? Because that, determines,
Well, we're trying to make, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
I see
yeah.
what, we're trying to get out of the back, right? But there are channels as we get, right? Are we getting out through the middle? Are we getting out through the right side? Are we getting out through the left side? So where do you wanna get out? Where is your, based on the game,
Gotcha.
where do you need
Yeah. Do you
to
want to use?
develop from that?
Find open channel.
Huh?
Find open channel,
Say that again?
find open channel.
Let me rephrase
I
one.
would-
Where are you having trouble?
yeah,
Where are you having trouble to get out of the back?
let's say on game restarts, right, goal kick,
Okay, who has the trouble? Left back, right back, or center back?
keeper. Because
Well,
keeper's
set-
kicking it right up the
set-
center channel and it's coming right back to them,
Okay.
right? So it's starting
Building out of the
very,
back.
very back.
Teaching on decision making, key on decision making, right? So my whole objective is I'm gonna teach the keeper of which is a decision he needs to make based where the ball is at and where the opposite team is standing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's my main principle. So what's my sub principle?
Was it what I said, finding that open player or? No.
Remember, you're teaching the keeper
Yeah.
how to make proper decisions, right? So finding the open player is not, you are not wrong, but it's based off of who?
Ah, okay. Like who to give?
No, no, there's a principle, right? So when you have the ball, you do what? You get wide,
Yeah.
right? When you're on defense, you can press. So this is starting to move the ball up the field offensively, even though you're in your defensive half, right?
Correct.
So
We're on
get
the attacking
wide.
side. Yes,
Exactly,
so-
so get wide. So the keeper has to learn, I can't just kick it straight up the center channel because it's gonna come back to me, right? That's the
Well, what's the
offensive job.
trigger that he needs to learn?
Exactly,
Besides find, because I can find open players.
but it's get wide, so find one of your wing backs, right, or left, away from pressure in order to move the
But
ball
just
up.
because a player is open, does that mean is that the right decision?
At 7 or 8? I would say yes, but.
No.
Remember, you're thinking ahead, right?
Right,
You're trying to
yeah.
help that player solve. Your
Right.
answer is not wrong. Yes, and it can be the right decision, but here's the example. I'm the open player, right? Remember, 7 or 8. There is their forward, there is their midfielder, and there is their other forward.
Yeah, go,
3 defenders.
yeah.
I'm still open, but how many defenders do I have in front
You're
of me?
facing 2 versus, yes.
So
And that's why I
that's-
say away from pressure, right? Maybe that.
There is a
yeah,
keyword that I was.
Yeah,
So there is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach is pass away from P. Because now I'm teaching my keeper, hey, you gotta count, right? There's 1, 2, 3 on that side, that
Yeah.
means that this side is open. And I'm not telling, oh, make sure that you're not, they're not 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, it's simple. Where's the pressure?
yeah,
Okay, there's like, well, there's 5 over there, there's none here, I'll pass here.
yeah.
Instead of just saying, find the open player, and then you go like, he has 3 players on him.
Yeah.
Makes sense, I've seen coaches go like, he has 3, whoa, shouldn't you talk, go the other way?
Right.
By just understanding what's in front of him?
Yeah.
And then we go on to what you were saying. So what's the player actions?
Get in the open space,
Now we're talking about
We're
the
still,
goalkeeper
we're still
right now?
talking about the keeper.
the keep,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
keep talking about.
Well, yes, you're gonna part, so movement off the ball, that's because players have to move, right?
Yeah.
So John or everybody.
Movement. So that goes more for the outfield players.
Yeah.
What are player actions that you're gonna attach to the goalkeeper? Scanning. And what about passing? What about passing?
Like getting it in the air to the distance instead of just on the
Yeah,
ground.
what type of
The
passing?
type of passing that you're gonna give, right? Am I gonna give my teammate who's 5 yards away a ball in the air? or am I gonna roll it or pass it straight to his feet to help develop? So those are the player actions. Now, once we get into that, then we get into the activity. I want to warm up. Yes, so the activity, so based off of that, what do I need to learn now? What do I need to understand before I move to my activity?
Number of players.
Yes. Going back to
Yeah.
what I needed, right? How much field do I have? Number of players, the level of players that I have. By this time, you already know what the level of players, your team, right? You already know all that. Maybe numbers fluctuate because, you know, mom and dad forgot to communicate and kiddo ain't coming to training. And that was a kiddo that you're focusing on your whole training.
That's
Which
true.
is your goalkeeper.
Of course, yeah.
And you're like, well, there goes my attention. I'm the goalkeeper. What's the point of doing it if I can't teach it to the guy that needs to learn it?
That's true.
You
That's
you
true.
get what I'm saying? So that's why numbers are crucial.
Yeah, but just going back to activity objective to fill that in, is it as simple as it's building out the map, which is the same
Who are you trying to teach here?
goalie?
So that means that,
So activity objective is goalie, teaching goalie to build out the map, just so you're.
Being more
basically- it's
specific.
being more specific.
you're
Okay.
being more specific, because that's what you're trying to teach, right? So now you're being more specific of what that activity is actually trying to do. And then you're building it out as you progress with the other activity. And then you have number of players, size, and ways of scoring, active and recovery duration. I'm showing you this because that's where the little caveat comes about. When you move on to your highlights, you'll see how active and duration plays a big key role throughout your whole training session, because it plays with your numbers. So, active and duration, if I were to ask, Nico, how do you get active in recovery duration for your training session?
To be honest, we gotta know what that like,
That's okay, that's okay,
what that meaning is.
that's okay. Casimir,
Activity duration,
yes,
depends on how many times you want to repeat certain things within the activity.
that's repetitions,
Repetitions,
that's
So,
repetition.
Break time?
This,
No.
So how long is your total activity duration? Let's start there, we'll work backwards. How long is your activity duration?
so on a 60-minute training, we wouldn't do any more than like 10, 12 minutes on a specific activity.
Perfect, let's pick 10.
Right.
Just so we know
Yeah.
exactly when we are 10.
Yeah.
That's my heart. So what's the repetitions of your exercise? How many times do you want to do the exercise?
I mean, at least 3 times.
3 times, fair enough. That means that out of those 10 minutes, most likely I'm gonna do 2 minutes and a half each.
Yeah, then break.
That means that's a total of 6, that's 8.5. Where does the other time go?
The rest.
To rest.
That's right.
Recovery, water.
Because that means that most likely you're gonna give them a 30-second break. If you wanna be that quick, then most likely your coaching points are gonna be 45 to 30 seconds, depending on how long your coaching points go.
Correct.
Does that make sense? So that's how you, and that's just a rough example. You're gonna have to be a little bit more sensitive in regards to your coaching points, right? It's gonna take you, average is around 45 seconds. But I'm talking about you're flowing through that coaching point. You're hitting dots right in.
So those fields are numerical, specific and numerical, not.
And that's why I'm showing you this,
Okay.
because usually, in the past, I get coaches that put 12 to 15. You know, total
Right.
duration, that plays with numbers, because which one are you doing? If you're
I
doing
see.
15,
So
that
be
means that you're going
specific.
way beyond your training session.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? That's why you want exact numbers, so you understand also, okay, I'm on the dot. I'm going on this time frame. If
Yeah.
I go over, you already know how you're gonna make up that time. Makes sense? It's not something that you haven't done before, but
So-
it's good to keep that structure.
A best practice that I've done with younger age groups is not only have the duration of each exercise, but if it's a 60-minute training session, I actually have like time. If I start at 5 o'clock, Warm-ups are until 5:05. Again, they don't need a lot of time for warming up, it's just mostly touch. And then at 5:07, after they've gotten some water after warm-up, or I've talked to them for 2 minutes, then we start the next. So when I'm looking at my watch, I forget to stop or start for duration. I know exactly where I'm at also, based upon the time on the wall.
That's a good example. Now, rules, what does that mean? I'm only going over this because can get confusing once you start thinking everything, you're like, rules, what does it mean by rules? I mean, what does US soccer mean by rules?
Rules of the training
It's
session,
not
whatever you have.
constraints, it's just, rules are more of like, what's gonna lead to the objective. Like, what kind of rules can you implement for defense, for attack, in order to get the best outcome from each player?
That's constraints and restraints.
Got it, okay.
Rules is more of the games that you have for soccer. Is there offsides? Is there,
Province.
is there throw-ins?
No hands.
Is there goal kicks? All the simple rules, right? In regards to what you're trying to do for that exercise. In regards that you have, if my extras is modified, am I gonna keep a certain rule of it? Then you go into constraints and restraints. That's where it comes in, right? Constraints meaning, did I modify the exercise to create a constraint for a certain team? Is it a 3v2? One team has less players. Constraint, right? Or should I say constraint, restraint is, okay, the 3 players, they got 2 touches.
Now shooting from the outside.
There you go. A restraint, right?
Yeah.
That restrains it from the regular rules of the game, is like you can shoot from anywhere.
Minimum 3 passes.
So, there you go, restraint. Constraint is more of that team that has to build something that is common in the game, but not common in the training session. And go into here.
Coach, doctor, I
Yeah.
have a question. So I work with, U13s right now, going on to 14. I don't know where this falls into, but, most of the time when I create my activities, it's always in one team is expected to lose and one team is expected to win. And I let my players know that. I tell them, hey, just so you know, in this session, I expect one team to win, another team to lose. Prove whichever team, like, where would that fall under?
Repeat the question, I'm trying to understand in
So
regards
my
to.
question is, because I have U13s right now.
Yeah.
I'm going on to 14, so it's getting a little bit more tactical now.
Yeah,
And I tell them and I let them into like, hey, one team is expected to lose, one team is expected to win in this session. And I pretty much ask them like, my question to you, like, where would that fall into? Like, would that be restrictions and restraints, or an objective? So that's
well,
just,
here's my question to you, why are you stating that?
cause I wanna see what they, basically I kind of break down just a little bit, tell them, I expect this team to win, I expect this team to lose. Now, what I need from you is to identify who has that advantage, what identifying your players. So I try not to get too detailed into it, it's just more on like classroom sessions type of things.
Well, then let me ask you, what determines that the team will win and that the team will lose?
Is whenever one team has more numbers than the others. So like 4v2, 4v3 type of situation.
So do you need an expectation? Do you need to say that expectation?
No.
Because the reality is, if I put, let's say, give you a sample, 3v4, right? I put my best 3 on one team, and my best 4, and the other players, maybe the average players on the 4 team, right? What's the expectation? At least for me, that I know is like, those 3 guys on that team most likely will win, because they have the individual and they have more developed, right?
Yeah.
But if I tell them I expect a team to win and lose, what am I telling the average players, literally? Because they already know who's the talented team is, right?
Yeah.
So what am I telling those average players?
You're literally telling them that they're.
You're not good enough. They lost confidence. Some of them lost confidence.
Because they know they're the average players in the team, and yet even though they have more numbers, they're still gonna lose to those 3 guys. Because those 3 guys are gonna make it known, yeah, we're gonna beat you. Makes sense? So you're expecting, I get why you're saying it, but if you say that, you're already giving a premeditated thought to those 4 players
This
that they
question,
may lose.
yeah, this question was more for like self-reflection, because I've learned to put myself in awkward positions, so that way, it's like, you know, are you doing it right or are you doing it wrong?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I ask these questions in front of
Yeah,
you.
no, it's not wrong to ask. I would say it's just understanding what are you trying to accomplish, or maybe, go ahead.
So I would clarify this, though. I think you're onto something. For example, we work with our keeper for 30 minutes, right? Specifically keeper training. There's 2 of us that have been doing this, trying to get up a new keeper, building up his confidence. And then the rest of the team takes shooting practice on him the last couple of minutes after scrimmage, right? I specifically say to the keeper, this is not for you. Don't think that you're supposed to stop every single ball. Setting expectation that he's gonna get absolutely annihilated when there's 50 shots coming at him in a matter of like 4, 5, 6 minutes, whatever it's gonna be, right? So the expectation is, you're not Superman, you're not gonna stop every single one of these, do your best, but this practice or this exercise is not for you. Don't let this crush your confidence, because you've got so many soccer balls coming at you so fast, you're never gonna be able to get to all of them. That's not the coach's expectation of you during this exercise. Your time is when we're working with you one-on-one, right? So that's just setting expectation.
Okay,
I also want to add, I think Martin is onto something that he's setting up expectation in certain situations, let's say, more in the future. Let's say if he puts to disadvantage one team and the other team is in advantage of numbers, he probably wants to tell, I want to teach you, so when you're in that situation, I expect you to win if you have 4 versus 3. You know?
and you are right, like I said, it's not wrong. Now, I'm gonna challenge you again to think outside the box. What's another way that he can say what he said without putting premeditated thoughts on the players, on any of the players? What's another way?
I mean, if
And
you
this is part of your coaching points. This goes into your coaching.
Keep it simple.
How would you tell what he
Oh.
just said? What's another way that you could do it? Say the same thing that he said, but you won't influence the players. Make sense? You won't influence both
Correct.
teams at the same time.
Yeah, so you have to generalize the statement to each individual player. Like, I expect every single person out here to put as much effort into this exercise as they can for the next 4 or 5 minutes or whatever it is.
That's one way, yeah. You can imagine what's another way. Let's say you and that approach is good, but you may not have the time to do it
Right.
individually. So what's another way that you can still do it short and sweet?
I told this kid, you're not gonna have the ball 100% of the time, so sometimes you gotta win it.
Okay, fair enough. What's another way? This goes
I'm
into
taking
your
it at
coaching.
the end, guys, so just so you know.
Because he might be sharing this, but you might find yourself in the future in the same situation.
Right.
And you're like, ooh,
Because if
I
I'm being
already know
honest,
that.
if I'm being honest, I always, I'll give you an example. I have 3, quick decision making players that just, they don't like to dribble, they just like to make quick decisions. They both play the 8s and the 6s, and that's pretty much what they do, and they don't like to dribble. They're my sub players. So I put 3 of them together with one center back who doesn't like to dribble either. And I made that loud and clear, and I said, I expect you to give your best from each and every side. I know one side's gonna win, and I know the other side's gonna lose, but I wanna see which player wants it more. And those 3 players, they couldn't get past the little mid block that they created.
Yeah.
The little mid block they created, they couldn't get past my top players, my 10, my 9, and my 7. They could not get past those 3 sub players. But I do want to reiterate that I do add positive notation before, but this information does help me become a better coach.
So the way that you do this, and then it's attached to this, when you give coaching points, do I just give them, and this goes into implementation, do I just give them to the team that I'm working with? Or do I also give a certain coaching instruction to the team that I'm not working with? Focus and non-focus team. For this course, you're only focusing on the team that you're working with, right? In higher license, you're gonna have to focus with both teams. You won't coach both teams, but you're gonna have to keep awareness that they're still on your team.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back into that. So to share that, suggestion is you give the coaching points separately.
Mm-hmm.
You say to the team of 4, hey, you guys better not lose. Give you an example, right? You better tear those guys apart. And I go to the other side of the crowd and be like, you guys better not lose, you guys better tear those guys apart.
Yeah.
Did I say anything of who was gonna lose or win?
No, that's.
No, you're
All I
just,
implemented is that I didn't want neither to lose. But we already know how the game plays out, right? Someone is gonna lose. Go ahead.
Would it be possible as well if you want both teams to hear the same coaching points at the same time to emphasize, no matter what the score is at the end, I'm expecting these principles to be, like, this is to me how you win today. Whoever is implementing.
Well, that's different. The coaching principles that you're trying to implement into your session is different. I just provided a suggestion of how he can get his perspective across. Make
Right.
sense?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when it comes to the coaching points, yes, you want both teams to hear it. Unless you, once again, are focusing in different dynamics for both
Right.
teams. How would I say that? When you're implementing, let's say I'm working with 3 backs, right? I have my 3 backs and then I got my 3 forwards. Coaching points are gonna be different. Make sense?
Mhm.
I'm focusing with the forwards, but I can't teach the same thing to the center backs. That means that your coaching points are gonna be different, but that's more of an advance. As you get higher in license, you'll see how that comes about. Can you do it now? No doubt, but sometimes you can, losing track of what you're doing is easy.
Yeah.
And that's where the deep course is involved, because it's too easy to lose focus. Then it goes into analyze and reflect. Who is this talking about? The coach or the player?
Coach,
What about? Why?
you're reflecting on your game objectives and how did they achieve those? How did they do them? Or the coaching points. How did
Okay.
they-
Yeah.
That's where you analyze your constraints.
How much time do you think we spend as coaches on this area?
Not nearly enough.
Huh?
Throughout the whole time.
Okay.
No.
Now, let me ask you, what's the purpose? Well, yeah, all of you guys are right, but usually it depends on the coach, right? Because some coaches spend a lot of time, self-analyze. Other coaches forget about that one, they go straight into just doing and implementing. And they don't think about, okay, how did that session go? Was there something that I could improve on? Was there something that I could adjust? Was it fun? Was it competitive? Was the intensity low, high? Were the players there mentally and physically?
Yeah.
Did I lose track of sight, or were my coaching points aligned with my objective? Self-reflection, right? All of those comes into gear. So the answer is yes, you want to focus a lot, but there needs to be a purpose with it. Otherwise, you're tormenting yourself. Because you're like, oh, that sucked. But then you're like, wait, why was it bad? Was it really bad?
Yeah.
And this is where the next stage will come about, data. Remember that word, because that's what keeps a coach sane. Otherwise, you can go crazy when you self-analyze and you don't have data, numbers that can back it up. Learning groups. So this is just more in the, what we're referring to, the coaching interactions, and now we're getting to more of the process. So the coaching toolkit, let me go back to that. Who's online when they're learning center? Can anybody pull up the coaching toolkit? Everybody, if you're online, find your coach.
This is the 5-slide one?
Yeah.
Everybody has it? Yeah. Okay. So talk to me, look at that coaching toolkit and talk to me what looks interesting there.
On the first page or on the fourth page?
Yes. Who has it?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Who has it? What looks interesting there? What's in there that you say, oh, okay, that's interesting, or I hadn't seen it, or tell me more about this?
oh shit, I think I already have that shit written.
Um,
Well, one of these really bullet, like one of the section we fill out
coaching toolkit is like a guideline, a check in regards to what you need to accomplish in your training sessions. So it gives you kinda, you can check off. Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do this? Did I do that? And it gives you a self-guideline in order to, just for you not to get so caught up on certain things. You can always look at that and see, oh, I didn't do that. Or, oh, I forgot to adjust this.
And then the comments is your reflections, like you go back and then you spend time.
To get it to good, like,
Yeah.
a good training session together.
Got it,
To get it to good, like,
yeah,
a good training session together.
got it.
Very
Yes.
thought out. All right, so that one bullet point encompasses a lot of additional work, right? So, okay, fine. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this.
Can you
correctly.
give me an example of what you're saying? Because I get that it,
Which bullet point are you looking at? That way I can understand.
So,
I can help write.
Yeah, so on the fifth slide, right, training session activity, coach layers information. So rules, like roles, rules, expectations, that's
Okay.
what we were just talking about, right?
So coaching interactions, right? We're gonna
Yeah,
get to
right.
that. You're in coaching interaction, okay?
yeah.
So I'll get to those right now and I'll share what you're talking about there.
All right, okay.
Because that goes into that. So
Sorry,
let me
reading
just
ahead.
get these two slides.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, man.
And then I'll get into your question, Ben.
My bad.
So this is more into the training objective and coaching points. Remember when I share in the Zoom, they go connected?
Yeah.
As you have your training objective, you also want to understand what coaching points am I making? Why am I choosing this objective? Why am I trying to influence the players? Case in point is, well, my right back can't receive and we can't build out of the back because my right back is the guy that I need to get out with. So that means that I need to teach proper body shape, awareness, scanning, controlling, all those aspects to give me what I'm looking for, building out of the back to the right side. So that's where this comes in. Then we go into activities, the design, and of course, defining the coaching interaction, which comes next. The when and the how. Remember those, as from now on, that's how I'm gonna share it. Now, what's the different types of actions? Teaching actions.
Like one-on-one and then like as a whole. In that sense.
Okay,
Demonstrate, like. Yeah, how do you teach? You were talking about that too, like, there's that one coach that's still physically able to launch that ball at 50 yards, and there's that other coach that's player to do it.
so teaching actions is the how. So let's go back into your own environment. How do you teach your coaching points? It's easier way to understand it like that than for me to say that question. That question is a little tricky. How do you teach your coaching points? How do you teach them? How do you teach them, Abraham?
If I can perform, I'm not demonstrating physically myself.
Right there. Demonstration. There's one. How do you teach them, Benjamin?
I like to stop in the moment when I see
There you
something
go.
I don't
It's
like.
a freeze moment right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Triangle, I call it.
How do you teach it, Casimir? What's another way that you teach it, or I'm sure you utilize those too, but what's another way, Dave?
I'm sure, well, not in the game, but outside of the game, show a video of the plays that happened in the past.
Okay, that's another way you
So
use
this
it.
is how we're
Okay.
supposed to do,
But what about in the training session?
or in the training
I asked the
session.
players, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I asked the players, like, where was our positive and where was our negative?
Direct feedback. There's another one right there. What's another one?
I asked some questions.
Checking for understanding goes connected with those two. Good. What else?
Positive reinforcement.
Bingo.
Hmm.
There's another one. Where else? There's one more. If you don't remember it, that's okay. We'll move on, and once I show you the next slide, you'll be like, oh, there it is. What's the difference of, what are the different teaching moments? Sorry, Benjamin, I gave you a
Yeah.
teaching moment.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
coaching,
Not an-
not a how. Sorry, I apologize for that. The freeze is a teaching moment.
Yeah.
What's the other one? What's another one? What do you guys use? What do you use, right? Huh?
Synchronize.
Not necessarily.
During the active rest time.
Flow.
I misunderstood.
Flow,
Yeah.
okay? in the moment, in the play, active
At
flow.
the end, also reflection.
Say that again?
Reflection at the end.
That's one of them too, yeah. Where else?
Actual drills or?
Introduction, and now we get to your question in regards to that. So here is basically how you're guiding your approach and so forth of how you're gonna do your training session, right? The how and the when is basically where you make your money. Simple as that. Because that's what differentiates, in addition to other parts, Pep Guardiola and Mourinho. They're both quality coaches, but they're two different methods of how they do their how and when. Make sense? They both have different styles for the same reason. Because they like to do certain things at different moments, different situations, and of course, the tactical aspect plays a role in that. But they're different because of that. Every coach is different because of that. If we're all the same, then it'll be easy for someone to coach, right? Because we're all the same. But the reality, that's why there's a separation, just like players. Coaches have different layers because they're able to do these two things at a different capacity. In addition to the other variables that we talk about, being organized, being structured, being professional, what you do, developing yourself and so forth.
And that's the layer, like, the lens could be, there's a group level, there's a smaller team level or individual, right? You gotta
Correct.
Figure out when to do.
So coaching interactions, the when, intro. Intro is where Ben was talking about in regards to the roles and so forth. This is where you share everything that's gonna occur that you're looking to do in your training session or activity. Meaning in regards to how much time you're gonna do this. We're gonna do this for 2 minutes and 30 seconds at an intensity of medium level. You know, the roles is we're using our right back, center back, and left back. Make sense? What are some of the constraints? Well, the constraints here is that we're playing a 3v2. Attacking team has 2 players, defending team has 3 players. Because I'm focusing on defensive principles, so I need higher numbers on the defense so I can teach them how to rotate. Always with a higher number. So this is where the intro comes in. This is where you introduce what you're gonna do in your session. Now, for this age, are you gonna tell them everything? Not really.
No.
You 7, you 8. I mean, if you start telling everything, you're gonna lose them in 10 seconds. So most likely it's just gonna be short and sweet. 3v2, trying to develop quickly to attack, and we're trying to defend as a group. Simple, and then your coaching points lead you on. Coach said, during active play, this is, I believe you said it, right, Nico? During active play. This is if you're a coach that likes to provide coaching points as players, hey, change your body shape. Or can we look around? Oh, Josh, what's around you? Count how many players around you. You're teaching scanning, right?
Yeah.
So those are during the active play. Planned stoppage. This, I believe, who said that? Was it you, Martin, or Nico again?
Well, I mean, I think, yeah.
Yeah, or Benjamin. This is where you,
Sort
this
of,
is when your training session. You write down at one moment in time, you're gonna stop the session because you need to make this coaching point. Now, this is one of the more proactive wins, because you're actually understanding when I'm going to stop.
Oh my God, I'm not sure.
So if you see something unfold, right, that's when you stop. Like, it's a predetermined point where you're gonna say,
Going back
I
to
need
our
this
goalkeeper,
clarification.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know that by the third pass that the keeper messes up, I'm gonna stop him to
Right.
do my coaching point.
Yeah.
Make sense? So that's my plan stopping. My cue is 3 mistakes, stop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's my plan stoppage, to stop that goalkeeper after 3 mistakes, I'm in to correct it. Could I plan it different? Of course.
Yeah.
That's why you got your pause and freeze moment, right?
Yep.
That's your freeze moment, and most of you do it, right? When you see a mistake, it's like stop, statues, hold it, freeze,
Yeah.
and you redo what you need to do. And then you got your natural stoppage. What's your natural stoppage?
When the ball is not in play.
That's one. What's another one?
Coughing.
That's 2. What's another one?
Injury.
Three. Water break. 4, more common as, water break and, ball out of bounds. More common one, right, that we see in our own environment. What's one that we don't see in our own environment, but it can be considered a natural stoppage?
I don't know if this is what you're getting at, but I will keep in mind a correction that I want to make for a specific player. And so when the play is on the other side of the field and they're not actively in the play, then I'll approach and like have an interaction about something that had happened, but I wanted to bring it back. So they're not necessarily in the play's still going on, right, for the rest of the team, but I have the ability to pull them aside for a quiet moment, do the coaching moment, and then step away. I don't know if that's what you're getting at here, but.
That's, that can be considered a natural stop, but that's more of individual coaching.
Right,
That's more of you
Not
putting
the
them
full team.
aside,
Right,
and you don't
okay.
disrupt the flow,
I'm with
which
you.
is more of active play during active play.
Yeah.
Like, substitutions.
Bingo.
yeah.
Which I kind of assumed is what you said back there, which is when they're not in play.
Halftime, he said halftime, but
Oh, okay,
substitution,
okay.
most coaches don't realize that's a great way to provide coaching for, it's a natural stoppage, right?
Yeah.
The game provides it for
Yeah.
you when you're doing it, but you hardly see a lot of coaches utilize it.
But that's during a game situation, not during training.
And that's why I say you don't see it in your own environment, because in training, do you
Fair.
see that?
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, but also
Got it.
in training too, depending on how many people are in the session and how many people are waiting to rotate in.
Now we're getting somewhere, now you're thinking.
But
Yeah,
it's still hard because if you're one coach, you're looking at, you're doing that, are they doing it reflections, coaching points? So maybe the assistant coach can also,
If you have that
if
stuff,
you
yes.
have that or something, right?
But
Okay.
then that's where you combine natural stoppage and planned stoppage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily.
Because if you
doing
already
all
know
of
my
it at once.
activity is gonna
Yeah.
include 3
Yeah.
teams, that means that your natural stoppage and your planned stoppage are together, because you're gonna be coaching the
Yeah.
team that just came out. Does that make sense? So that's where the
So
creativity comes
it's,
in.
yeah, so the framework is really, you're just picking these opportunities, but it's not necessarily you're always doing all of it.
No,
Yeah.
it is hard to do all of it. It's hard. So those are the 5 that we use as coaches. Some of you may use all of them in one training, because the game brought it out, right? Your training brought it out. But sometimes, most likely, you're only gonna use,
Like 2 max.
in the flow, or natural stoppage. Make sense? Those are there, but the other ones are there because most likely you're gonna utilize them on one moment in time.
Mhm.
So they're always in your back pocket. Now- Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, which one do you think is the most effective at this age? Or are they all equal?
What age group?
That U8, the one with.
I can share which one is the more disruptive,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
the freeze
Yeah.
Get back where you were.
Oh.
is the more disruptive, especially for this age. Because let me ask you, how well can you freeze 70 and 80?
Depends on.
You can't, but,
You can.
so, at that age group, freeze is very effective when you're needing to reset the entire team, right? So for example, think of like, everybody wants to go to the ball, right? And so, who said, think of the ball as a vacuum, and it sucks, yes, thank you. So everybody gets, like, the vacuum is sucking everybody in, right? And you hit freeze, don't move. And then you can physically, like, tell everybody where they're at and then move them around, right? And you're basically resetting the game. So it's serving 2 purposes. What is happening here right now that as a team you're not doing as you were instructed, right? They don't understand that. These are adult terms, right? And then you physically relocate them and then start the play again.
And you're not wrong, you're not wrong. You are right on the money in regards to what you're saying, but here's a question to all of you. Do you use it or do you abuse it?
That's fair, right? If you do it too often, you're exactly right.
And your point is
Yeah.
right on the money, I 100% agree with you. That is how you get these kids to kind of reshape and kind of get them
Yeah.
back in the role. Freeze, easiest way, that's why I say it's the most disruptive.
Right,
Because kids, right away, they're either bring attention back or they stop what they're doing.
yeah.
Makes sense? But the question is that most coaches abuse it.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And then it becomes more of a freeze every time. And as you get older in ages, what do players hate doing?
stopping the flow of the game.
Which means it goes back to the habits, right?
Yeah. So I have a personal experience on that end because I developed a GA team. I had them from they were 7 all the way till like a year ago when they when I got them to flight 1.
Mm-hmm.
I 1 year with them, I gave them to Walter.
Mhm.
Walter moved them to GA the next following year. But my point is, what I'm trying to say is that I have this new team who previously a coach would give them so much freedom, where he would never freeze them. He would never freeze them, never stop them. He would just create feedback at the end, just like he said. He hated the idea of freezing players.
Yeah.
And now that I have those players, they're 13 going on 14, they respond like little children when some freeze, and they just go like this. And I'm just like, and I asked them, did coach ever make you guys freeze? They're like, no, we don't like being, frozen, da da da. But the funny thing is that they're responding well to it at 14, but like you said, they're getting tired of it now.
Well, yeah, it's a new tactic for them.
Yeah.
Right,
Which
yeah.
is, it's a great skill to use, but the question is, if the older kids are good because freeze is like a game to them. And then I get to
Right.
go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Or the olders, freeze is
Yeah.
like a constraint.
Right.
Or what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Especially to the player on the ball, it's like, or if you're the skilled player, you're about to make a great pass, and you say freeze,
Yeah.
That's true.
makes sense, it's like, and then it breaks the flow. So that's why it comes in that as a coach, you gotta get into the habit that freezes in your back pocket.
Right.
When you're pissed off and you're not doing okay, I'm on, hurt you where it hurts.
I like to use it mostly for, when it comes to more like defensive work for the freeze. When like people are not marking someone, people are, offsides, and that's usually when I use to freeze, I think.
And now we
Yeah,
get into a
don't-
different sector, right?
Yeah, don't-
Situational aspects of where it's actually
Yeah.
needed, because remember, it's the most disruptive. That means that players actually know that they're doing something wrong. Makes sense, and
Yeah.
then defense is a great way to put it, because if you're not defending correctly, they're gonna beat you. That's not a question, that's a statement, they're gonna beat you if you're not defending correctly. Makes sense, because attacking players wanna beat you, so they're gonna exploit your inabilities to defend. So that's, it usually goes. That's why you wanna make sure you're diverse in regards to how to use them.
Yeah.
Cause using them is not easy. It may sound easy, but it's not easy. And
mean-
you'll see once we get into the demo.
Don't abuse it. I can.
Now we go into the house. This goes back to, I believe, Grayson said positive enforcement, direct feedback, observe and adjust, demonstrate, questions and guided questions. So these are the ones that are getting used. Now, let me ask you, how many of you guys observe and adjust at the beginning of training, or are you more of the coach that goes straight into the coaching point right away? Straight into the coaching point? It's
Yes,
okay,
I
nothing
know.
wrong being honest.
No, that's why I'm here to learn.
Okay, straight to the coaching points. What else? Who else?
No, honestly, it depends on my mood also. Like, if I don't want any bullshit, then I'm gonna get right to the coaching points and I'm gonna be very assertive about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll let it flow. Not at 7 to 8. I'm thinking about my U16s, right? So.
Whole different
But yeah,
scenario.
yeah,
I wanna
yeah.
back him up on that one. There are some players that, like I said, physically, mentally, totally different thing, where they show up and those players, I try to tell them the coaching points immediately on the side. Because I know what their outcome's gonna be. I know how they're already like, I'm showing them the board, all of them are focused, and then there's 2, 1, 3 players are just like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, focus. Girl, so they roll their eyes, and I'm just like, okay, cool, and I tell them this is what I want, short, sweet, simple, boom, move. And I pull that player to say, hey, you're not in trouble, I just want you to know, these are my coaching points that I need from you right now.
Yeah,
That's it.
okay, fair enough.
My
Now,
double
here's the
difference-
question, how long should you observe before you adjust?
Couple of minutes max. Like, I let it go for 3-4 minutes. If they haven't like figured it out at that point, then you start to adjust. Now, there's 2 different types of adjustments, right? Did they hear my coaching points and do I need to reconfirm them? Or did my exercise that we're doing, is it not hitting the coaching points, right? There's two different things. Am I missing the mark? Me
Okay.
personally.
So, when we observe and adjust, what are you observing and adjusting? I know you share about your training session, but what are you observing of your training session?
I want to make sure, number one, that they're doing as they were instructed, right? And so if they're confused because I didn't convey the exercise correctly, then I need to step in again, and that's a coaching fail on my part, right? I'll
Okay.
own that, hit the reset, explain it one more time, give them a couple more minutes to figure it out. And sometimes it does just take a couple of minutes to figure things out, right? At
Okay.
7 and 8, very simple, right? Control, go to goal, control, go to goal.
Now, this observe and adjust is ensure organization allow players to achieve the objective. So now, the organization part comes about, which you just explained in regards to that. Explanation needs to be clear so they can understand how to execute it. But then it comes out to the other side, adjust. Adjust refers to more of the technical or tactical, if we put it for the other, older ages. But what are you adjusting? How are you measuring that adjustment? It comes to this, trends.
Mhm.
Everybody here heard that before, trends?
Yeah.
What does that mean to you, Ryan?
Consistent patterns of issues or,
What's a trend for you? What's a trend? What becomes a trend?
not jockeying or diving in on defense.
Okay, how many times do I need to dive in for it to become a trend?
Well, I don't want them to, so like 3 times.
Perfect number.
Yeah.
3. The minute something occurs 3 times, it becomes a trend. Meaning the first time might have been an accident, second time might have been, situation, third time I know that the player's just diving because they want to dive. So it becomes a trend. So when I'm observing if there aren't any trends building up within the training session, whether positive or negative. Once the trends, I see the trends, then I'll start making the adjustments. Which the adjustments comes into the form of my coaching points, right? That's why this is the how. How am I gonna implement my coaching point? Well,
Yeah.
I'm observing and I'm adjust what I just noticed. Based on that trend, my left back just gave the pass square 3 times. And my objective is building out of the back. The reality is I won't build out of the back with a square pass. Cause I already know what's gonna happen once the defender sees the same trend. Oh, the left back gives it square. Forward, I'm gonna cheat, the minute she passes, boom, I'm gone. Goal. Does that make sense? So that's how you understand when you're using that coaching interaction, your trends need to be there. Cause now you know what you're observing and what you need to adjust.
In the, when we start filling out the activities in these sections, how, is it as simple as just writing, for example, direct feedback and explicit guidance, or do you want us to do that and then write an example from the activity?
That's a great question. Yes, both.
Both.
Because I know what direct feedback means, but my direct feedback approach is different than your approach. Make sense? So you need to share how you will give that direct feedback.
Okay.
Does that make sense? That way I understand your style of how you're going about it. Is it gonna be wrong? No, because that's how you approach it. Can I suggest maybe another best practice that you can use? Of course.
Sure.
That's why I'm here, right? To suggest and give you different ideas. But I need to see what direct feedback you mean.
And keep it to like 1 to 3, 1 to 2.
1 to 2 sentences is
1 to
fine.
2.
Short and sweet is best though.
Short,
Remember, 7 to 8 years old, you can't give them a
Yeah.
sentence.
No,
That
I
means
think,
that-
I think Ryan's asking in the template, how
Like
many
in the
examples
template,
do
like
you
if
want?
I list observe and adjust, positive reinforcement, whatever, and then provide examples, that's too much, maybe pick 2.
Yeah, I would say just
Yeah,
2
just
is,
2.
you don't want, like I said, you're not gonna have, you won't be able to, no, let me.
Cause I can see how.
The question is, how much do you want to read from us?
How much do you want to read from us?
It's not that I want to read it, it's more of, what's your common
Gotcha, okay.
flow?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
your common approach?
I see.
Because remember, this course is not gonna change your whole entire coaching approach. This
Yeah.
coach is just gonna develop
Gotcha.
your approach.
Yeah.
Which means that you gotta share what you usually
Yeah.
do, because then I can provide a suggestion to help your approach. But if you give me all five, I'm thinking, dang, he's doing all five in training. But in
Okay.
reality,
Yeah, yeah.
he won't do all five in training.
Probably like
Nobody
two,
really does. Say that again?
probably like two max, two.
Usually from experience, the most you'll do is 3. If you're talking about high-level coach with
Oh, high
resources and coaches, you'll most likely do different ones, because you go into individual coaching,
Right,
you go
Yeah.
into situational coaching, you go into group coaching.
Oh, that,
Makes
that
sense?
that's
So
true.
it's, with staff is different, but by yourself,
yeah.
2 to 3, I would say.
Yeah.
That's most likely what you do, coaching in the flow, natural stoppage, freeze moments, and then house is positive reinforcement. Observing the jets is a hard one, because it also depends how you feel that day, right? Dang, I just wanna get done, I don't wanna deal with all the BS that they're gonna throw at me, just go direct to what I need to do today. And players, usually that's why players, they know like, oh, coach is pissed today. Or, oh, coach is happy today. You know, that's like they usually know, right? I knew from my former coaches, in college or in the pros, I knew if they were pissed or not.
Yeah.
It depends how long they took to get us going. It's like, oh, he's in a good mood today.
You know, we can't.
It started like that, oh, he's pissed. Might as well do everything right today.
No, I'll be honest with you, with girls, it's totally different.
No
It's
doubt it
totally
is.
different, yeah. With girls, it always has to come from you're not gentle, but just more of I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
It's a very emotional, vulnerable
Yes, it
place.
really is.
Who here coaches girls besides Martin?
I
Ryan, you
mean,
coaches, what age?
U13.
Nico?
I coached the women's side last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
You were
That's not-
23.
I mean,
You 23, you not UPSL or?
No, college.
Oh,
no.
Got it. Where
It's-
at?
KLNU, Point Loma Mastering.
Oh, yes, Point Loma, that's right, awesome.
it's the kids, so technically it's boys and girls.
Okay,
I have a few girls on my team, my team is 12, 13-year-olds.
fair enough. So yes, you coach girls, coaching boys and coaching girls, 2 different worlds.
Yes.
That's true. That is true.
I don't want to, generalize the life, but at the end of the day, it is true.
No, any experienced coach that you talk to and so forth, if they have coach at both sides, they'll tell you 2 different worlds.
It-
I coach at the college level for women's and men, 2 different worlds. 2 different worlds.
Yeah.
Any coach that tells me it's not, I'll be like, you haven't done enough.
No, it's true.
Because you don't approach the females the same way you approach males. You don't interact with them the same way you approach with males and females. Your expectations are even different. Because what makes a guy be like, hey, can you get that done, please? You say that to a female, guarantee you, there goes emotion.
Yeah.
Coach just told me to do this, but I didn't like how he said it. You're like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's that term that was 100% proven by scientists. Boys compete to bond, and girls bond to compete.
Yeah,
very
that-
great statement.
oh, that's true.
And it's very true. Because girls, think about it. Females have to first feel they belong and they care for each other
Yes.
before they start playing with each other.
Yeah,
Guys,
I like that.
They want to compete.
I
Though.
don't need to know you. I
Yeah.
just need to know we're in the same team, we're good.
That-
Am I wrong?
That's true. No, that's true. That's
Guys,
true.
like, we can play with anybody from any country at any given time.
Even if it's
Female, that won't happen.
no.
You put a female you put 11 players from different countries, I guarantee you, 2 of them be like, I don't feel well playing. It's like,
Yeah.
It's a factor, because they wanna feel they belong there. They wanna feel that straight chemistry, that connection.
Yeah.
Guys, we could care less. Give me a ball, you
Right.
play, okay, good. Where you from? China. Oh, all right, here you go. Give me the ball.
That's true.
It's crazy. That's too many years, too.
That is true.
To understand that. So then, here's, more insight in role model and demonstrate. What does that mean? So Abraham shared
That's
about
what you said, it's,
demonstrate, but what is role model? Or who does model? And who does demonstrate?
Well, I would demonstrate first and then, but, get my best players, then have them be the models, right?
Bingo. This is crucial that you do when you're doing your coaching posts. Because when you do your video, if you do a freeze moment and then your how is gonna be demonstrated model, there needs to be both. Make sense? There needs to be you demonstrating or a player demonstrating and then your players modeling. That way they know that, oh, they actually get what you were trying to say. This is another form of checking for understanding. That way they know. So those two go together. They have to live within that coaching code. And here are some of the coaching interactions, and here's just an example. You can take a picture of this. I won't go too much into this. This is just kind of just some information. Yeah.
But I just want to clarify really quick. I had in front of me the U7, U8 age group learning plan, where you have the build up, like the principal, sub-principal, and the interactions. When we went over before the example with the goalkeeper, obviously, like we can all come up with different activities that we've.
The build out line, you're referring to the build out line?
Yeah, because like build up, you can work in so many things, but I'm trying to stay close to what the class is, the information that is giving me, right?
So what's your question?
How much can we do, like how much can we add to this PowerPoint slide, right? Because if the main principle is create attacking shape and the sub principles for that main principle is create height, width, and depth, I can create height with width and depth with the interiors and forward, you know what I mean? Like there's different ways of doing that. So do we have freedom to like choose what kind of activity we're doing, or are we, because
What's the objective?
is to create attacking shape. So like, see, there's different ways of doing
Attacking
that.
shape means that you're on what half of the field?
Well, it says here in the defending half, which doesn't really,
Which means what part already? If you're creating attacking shape, where are you gonna create the attacking shape? So is this an attacking shape?
and
My axis.
on the axis, yes.
Yeah. For this
So
reason.
I have width,
Your width.
Yeah,
and here is my depth, because there is the highest player is based on the build out line, right?
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to do in regards to, so that's where I'm creating that depth. Now, once you add, if you add to another player, then that's where you create all three. But it's also based on the numbers, right? You have the numbers to create all three.
Right.
Yes, but right now, I can't create depth because I don't have a what?
forward. But I guess my question is, in that activity, the activity focused on the goalkeeper. You know what I'm saying? So do we have because I can deviate and use this and do it like to focus on the left back and the right back, or you know what I'm saying? But I don't want
This is
to.
a great example in regards, remember when I tell you in regards to that you want to start, I think it was the first meeting where you want to come blank. Because I can understand what you're trying to do.
Right, I'm
You're
trying to
use
be
your
blank.
knowledge,
Yeah.
and he's trying to combine that information. That's why he's getting confused. The simple answer is that you can build any training session you want.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to say. I thought
It's
for the-
as long as it meets the principle, right? What you're referring
Okay.
to is, do you want to have those? Yes, no doubt.
Right.
Are you gonna have those in certain situations? No, maybe
Right.
not.
Yeah.
No.
That's okay, as long as the activity is addressing the main principle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
overload
For
of
this course,
information.
yes,
Okay.
but the main question you gotta answer, is that okay with you as a coach?
No, well, I am in this course to learn, so I wanna do what's right by the course,
Oh.
you
No,
know what I
no,
mean?
no doubt, and that's what I'm saying, but remember the objective of the course, should I say, the course objective is to teach you in regards to how to structure thoughts and more information, but at the same time, it's also to help you learn how to apply this with your coaching
Okay.
style. Because you can't copy verbatim this and put it into your team, impossible. Because you already have pre-knowledge that you want to apply to your team,
So it's totally okay for us to bring that knowledge and integrate it with this.
and that's the idea.
Okay, perfect.
That's the idea. That's why I say come blind, that way you can understand this knowledge and then transfer it once you have processed it. Because right now, you're learning it, but you're not processing everything yet.
Yeah.
Too much information.
Overload.
So you gotta make sure that you understand. So yeah, so going to this is you create the line and this is where I'm creating. My focus is here. And I can make it as easy as if I wanted more going to the age that we're talking about. Put all three defenders there to give the clear visual where I wanna get out. And then I change it. Then these are just examples, right? Then I go right into here. Put them straight down the middle.
Yeah.
To give the visual. And I go and change it again the next 5 minutes. Go right into there.
Right.
Just to give the keeper the visual, that trend, right? I'm giving you the trend of where the pattern is so the keeper can say, okay, I'm counting now.
And this specifically is this is an example of the modified game activity, right? Then, the activity prior to this, but still do it, could be focusing really just on one touch. Just like a one touch without goals, cones.
That's an exercise,
Like
yeah.
an exercise.
Yeah, that's an
That could be
exercise.
Activity one.
So here, what is my modified activity? What is make this a modified activity?
I'm sorry.
Game
Half
is
field.
stopped.
Say it again?
The game is stopped, so it's not an actual flowing real game situation.
Correct, but what makes it modified? Remember I shared what makes an activity modified or non-game form?
Half field, or?
It has
Nice.
direction,
Has direction,
opponents.
has opponents,
Goal.
scoring method.
Scoring.
Those are the three, right? Scoring method for the defense is scoring goal. Scoring method for my team is we get beyond the build-out line. Does that make sense? So those are the ways. A non-game form, it doesn't have direction. As you said, the one pass, right, it's called the passing.
Whatever it is.
There's no direct, meaning game direction, not direction of going left to right, it's more game direction.
Even with still focusing on the goalie for this activity though, would you, for the defense, the defenders who are playing, is their objective just to kick the, or, to get the ball, regain the ball back and score, or is it just to get the ball out?
No, you make it game for the defenders, you say? I would tell them, hunt,
Yeah,
score.
Gotcha, yeah, okay.
You know, just get the ball and score.
Yeah.
Just like you would with your team, right? We're defending, get the ball, and can we score? If you're in that type of area.
Mhm.
All right.
And then that gives them motivation because they want to score, so they're gonna hustle everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to give too much instructions in regards, because that's not my focus, or at least for this age group. So now we're gonna go into building the training session. We have a good hour and 10 minutes before we go. So you gotta get 12 minutes each activity. Each group 12 minutes to facilitate their activity. So this is more room from going to the field. You get 12 minutes. So you're gonna be in pairs. I'll keep you by the tables. Oh, we got one odd number. That's fine. We'll have you three work together.
All right.
And then we'll stay in twos. So you work with a partner. So you have 12 minutes over there to set up. You're gonna be doing the same training session. So Ryan and Ken, you'll be doing the same training activity. That's why you're working together. So the whole idea is we give you that activity, and out of these activities that we run today and tomorrow will be your 3.1. You get to choose which one you feel you wanna do. So for example, today will be attacking, tomorrow will be defending. and you can decide what topic. But remember, today we're building the topic, so you gotta make sure that you understand the objective that you wanna choose. Tomorrow we'll do the same thing, and you can choose which activity you wanna, select. So that way you know how you're gonna choose this. Today, most likely Ryan will present. Tomorrow will be Ken.
This is for later on today, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Later on today. And here is an example. Well, we already did this. I did it more on here. I used the goalkeeper as an example, but here it gives you in regards to the training template and so forth. So here's where we're gonna go. So you have these are the age, this is the topics that they give you. Now you gotta create an activity that you're gonna create and score. You still need an objective though, remember. The phase is different, it's just telling you where you're at. The objective is what you're trying to do in regards to it, okay? Am I trying to score down the wing? Am I trying to score and so forth, and so on. And then we create a main principle, a sub-principle, player actions, and coaching goals. And then after that, you create an activity, one activity, modify. And here is just, then afterwards you got your how and when. Within the training template, you want to use the training template because that's where it gives you your how and whens and so forth. I'm just sharing everything, that way it's easier as we already went through the session. And this is how it's gonna go in regards to the presentation. After you're done, the last 30 minutes, we're presenting here. So each group will come up and present their activity. So you're getting around 45 minutes to create the, more like 40 minutes to create your activity. And then 30 to present short and sweet. Today, we might not be able to do all the groups. Actually, we should be able to do all the groups.
Could we use the restroom?
Yeah, so we'll go on that. And then, that's it. Any questions on that? So you have, here is your topics, and you can start working on your activity with your partners. Any questions on that?
Just to be clear, this could be the first activity for the 3.1.
If that's the one you choose, that's fine.
And then tomorrow, when my partner does the defensive side, can we use that for the, because you're supposed to submit 2 activities, right, for that assignment, I believe?
One.
Oh, just one, sorry.
3.2 is 2 activities.
Okay. Sounds good, thank you.
Oh, big difference.
You're thinking, right?
Yeah, 3.2 is just adding another activity to, because
Remember, everything,
3.1 is, it's a
Description.
building block.
3.1 is just
It's
one.
not-
So it builds up to the practice, the training session that we're gonna do
Right.
on camera.
But should
Nothing-
the second-
Say that again.
second session
It just
be
builds up
built
to
on the
one
first-
training
on the
session that we
first
do
or-
on
or
camera.
it's totally different, not related.
sorry, what do you mean?
Should the 3.2 should be related to the first one?
Yes. 3.2 should be related to your 3.1, meaning that you can't change your objective once you submit your 3.1. Your objective, main principle, sub-principle, they all gotta be the same. Because at the end of the day, you're recording your 3.1. Does that make sense? So, meaning that the activity that you choose for your 3.1 is the one that you're gonna record.
Right.
Did I lose anyone?
As well as
But it should-
3.2.
Huh?
Right, the second exercise that we're gonna do for 3.2, both of those get filmed, right?
No, just one,
Oh, just the one?
just the one.
Oh, okay,
It's one activity.
got
The
it.
reason you submit 2 activities, or basically we have you submit the whole training session, because we want to know if they connect.
Ah,
Because at the end of the day, you gotta make sure your sessions are connected, right? Because after I do this in my first activity, what's next?
It's kind of where my, thought process was.
Make sense? But how am I gonna
Build a goal
connect
strategy.
my first activity to the
Yeah.
next activity that I have? When I add more numbers and I add more space.
Dr. when do we submit that video with our own team in the 3.1?
3.2.
Also at the end, we submit the video of 3.1.
Oh. Yes, 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 yes.
Just
I
to
know.
be clear,
Yeah,
sorry,
so
we're talking about.
it's a 3.2,
Yeah,
a video is a 3.2, but you submitted it of the training activity of 3.1.
And also the Description as well, right?
Yes?
And also the description, like, you have
The
to.
training session.
Yeah,
Yes.
reflect and all.
3.2, it has video, and it has the training section, fully complete.
All right.
And by,
Do the team, and then we film the video together, because the
well,
training session.
here's where you come about. So we're doing this and so forth, but the training session that you build, you can do it within U7 to U12.
Okay.
So that means that if you have a U12, you're building a training activity, let's say you guys take turns, right? What age you have, Abraham?
U10.
Say today, you're gonna do a U12 activity. Make sense? You both running the same activity. Tomorrow, you're like, okay, let's do a U10 activity.
Oh, that way.
By
he can take
U10,
the U10 and I
meaning,
can pick
I'm
the-
using that age group because I know coach has a U10.
So
Mm.
I want to make sure 100%. So what we two decide on right now, that's gonna be our 3.1 and 3.2. Or like this group activity, how we're together right now, that's it, right? 3.1, that's gonna be it.
If you decide that this activity today, there's another activity tomorrow.
So
okay,
we can
so-
choose from them?
I guess.
Okay, got you.
So we make one activity for U10, so he can make his video, and then another video for my group. So I
Yeah,
can-
I'm making it as flush as can be, that way it's easier for you guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. that
Okay.
This right now, what we're doing as partners is what's gonna be our base for 3.1.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Any question? You good?
Better make it.
All right, here we
That's what I'm
go.
trying-
You got 40 minutes to create your activity. So we need, choose your objective. You already have the three components. You can use the restroom if you need to. And then the last 30 minutes, we're gonna present. And then the players, the groups that don't get present, you're going up first, up in the depot.
So good. Yeah, you set the expectation.
Is it?
Do you recommend filling it out in the template or elsewhere?
I would recommend filling it out the template if you have it, it's much easier. Or if you don't have a template, well, yeah, of course, you're gonna. Did you print it out?
Anybody want some? Yeah, but it's not that many, I'm just checking.
Got it. Oh, you didn't get the, I was gonna say we could borrow and we can put your copies. Does anybody have a printout one?
Okay, thanks.
Will be the UI. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, not bad. Not even on my comments or something.
No, but when you have books to read still, man, you gotta create your own.
That's not good, man.
Yeah.
Not good.
So, man, you got lost?
No, I was coming from a match.
Huh?
I told I was coming from a match. I had a match this morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry? When Ben comes back, we'll go over it. I mean, it's just not, we haven't picked the activity, but I just went through, I
Yeah, because like obviously for this, I'm going to do an attack, but the thing is, when I'm dealing with kids, they don't even know nothing. It's a whole different story.
So, like, but the objective is score a goal in the box, principal finish the attack, sub-principal take the one-on-one to create or score, and then player actions, shooting and dribbling. And then, well, I guess one coaching principle is to move your body or the ball to make the defender off balance. What could be a coaching point about shooting?
For me personally, like use 7 so that we could, as a warm-up, we could do like 1v1 all this.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an activity, right?
Yeah.
But I guess other coaching point for how to shoot, lock your ankle and strike the ball with your laces.
This is the one you already created.
Yeah, well, yes, in my mind. So I will break the line.
Yeah, because getting here, I got lost.
I know, it's tricky.
Nobody was there. It's like,
That's the one that was the course.
Right, so then, do you want to do it today, or do you want to do it, because there's a second activity that we have to do tomorrow,
Yeah.
and that, like, we have to choose, like.
look, and even have this.
This was a tackle.
Is that
Right, so I guess what I'm asking.
We could do yours, and then we'll do mine tomorrow.
Right, okay, if you want that way, or if you want me to flip it, then I can do it.
Okay, so for the activity,
You know,
Your mind's already going like this,
Yeah.
so just go with it.
Okay.
Go with it. I'm not saying that, it's like it's already.
Yeah, no,
activity, we can just do I would say a 2v1 because the sub-principle is to like take on the 1v1 and create.
Yeah, but I think I was planning because activity 1, warm up, all that.
So I got so far, if we want to tweak it, we
No,
can.
since you have it already, let's
But
just do yours today.
Love it. Finishing attacks.
objective, score a goal in box, finish the attack, take on 1v1 and score, play action, shooting, or
So did you
and
submit
dribbling.
this for what?
Coaching points, I don't know if that's enough or if we want to add one more.
No, it's great.
And then I guess what the activity looks like. what the-
No, see, that one.
Yeah, so what were you
this is what I'm
thinking
trying to clarify.
in regards to the activity? Like,
We were just brainstorming, we said we could go into 1v1s, we could do 2v1s.
I kind of like the unbalanced approach, like a 2v1.
I like that because it
Yeah.
lets them create or score, right? With that sub-principle, like,
I mean, like
okay,
the
if
second one.
you can engage the 1v1, but you also have the option, right?
Yeah.
I like it.
I think I have this going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's supposed to write it.
Yeah,
Even though it doesn't
and
necessarily.
that's the one you submitted, or yesterday. But it's great that you already have.
Does everybody have this written down?
You know what I'm saying?
Or,
Not yet, let me
Like,
take one
what you
photo
just showed
of
me
it
that
real
you
quick.
have ready, the two activities,
Yeah.
that's what's due on the 9th.
Oh, okay. I'll let it on.
But, maybe we can put it on the 9th.
Yeah, the other
The
one.
one, you know.
Oh, I didn't know.
But what I'm saying is that since you already have, activity 1 attacking,
here we go, I'm gonna ask you to use your technology, your phones, and take a picture of this, because this is something when we're doing the demos, the groups who are not presenting, you're gonna help your teammates kind of understand this organization.